I don't usually do that. Rodha bhi like apna hi gana la. Watch this out. Down that like yeah. I hear it before it releases. Bhi ke main karna hai like from a work standpoint. But now like once it's out, I'm mad. What I like. Let's say I'm somewhere. Gana mera lag juga. Let's say yeah. I just feel awkward. I just get weird. Like what I'm supposed to be like. Yeah.
Feel like it's me. Give me the mic.
मैं बनाया.
Whether medicine is directly patient care or different, I don't know. I'm reaching that point now where timing-wise, it's just both of them are maxed out. So now for either one or two go further, I gotta now
Choose
decision. Yeah. So that's the hard part.
What's up, people? Welcome to this week's episode of the Indy and Doctor podcast. We are in very special circumstances. We are joined today by the world famous G Sidhu. He has a new EP out called Wildcard. Check it out. I'll put the link in the description. But first of all, Paaji, thank you so much for joining us. How you doing?
Good, bro. Sri Akal, brothers. And thank you for having me on board. And I've been watching you guys' podcast. Amazing stuff. Keep up with the good stuff.
Indy, did you see how Paaji said Sri Akal Viro? He said it properly. Paaji, hey, anda mere kol Sri Akal Paaji. I was like, yeah, sing ban ke tu Sri Akal bulaya.
No, properly. Right, it's fine.
That's what that matters. He just said, nitpick kyo karna. That's his vibe.
Exactly, doctor. Exactly, doctor.
He's on your team.
I've got a friend. Paaji, are you a massive Knicks fan? Because I can see the Knicks top.
Yes, man. Of course.
Reppin', man. Reppin'.
Interesting. Is it a Carmelo top? A 7?
What was that?
Is it a Carmelo top?
Yeah, Melo.
Thought so. I'm a massive NBA fan, so I understand. Yeah.
Melo didn't win, but he has our support.
Absolutely, man. Long live Melo, the king, the one-on-one mid-range king.
Talented, very talented. One of the
King, I thought James King gets you know King बनाई जन्ने like come on man.
The one-on-one mid-range king, mid-range. Yeah.
Goat एक होंदा, okay? One goat.
नहीं और सारी बकरियां हैं You should feel like a goat. That's all that matters. You should
Absolutely.
Elite mindset.
Everybody their own goat.
Very well said, Paaji.
Well, Paaji, I don't think a lot of people know that you're based in New York. So, one question: where's the best samosa in New York? That's the most important, utterly question for us.
It depends what part. Like at your guys' place, is it Birmingham, London? If in the city, there's a Punjabi deli and grocery that's pretty famous.
Okay.
They see stuff, and that's also in one of my cover for the new EP, Piche. You see Punjabi.
Yeah.
So it connects with the samosa part.
Oh, yeah. And so, Paaji, from your point of view, what makes a good, or not good, great samosa? What makes it? Shape? Is it shape, the taste, crispiness, filling?
The edge, the crisp.
It has to be the right balance. Crispy from outside, but it has to deliver with the flavor too.
There you go.
Yes,
This is soundbite.
You have to hear the crunch.
Soundbite.
The crunch.
Soundbite.
Yeah.
Indy was at a party recently, Paaji, where some sick person, you're a psychiatrist, right?
Yeah.
Koi dimag di bimari wala banda hai, left the crust. Samosa bichon kha ke, he left the crust. Who does that, man?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like one of the pizza crust people.
Yes.
Yeah, that he should be banned.
Wait, hang on. Where's the best pizza place in New York?
What do you guys?
Because this is a hot topic.
Anywhere, bro. You can't go wrong with New York pizza. It's hard to mess it up. Everybody has their own style, flavors. It's anywhere. Subway, you go into Subway, you go into actually pizza.
Subway does pizza in America.
Probably a restaurant, the train station.
Oh, the actual Subway. Okay.
Okay.
I was like, you got a better Subway than us, man.
You know, Subway station, they have like restaurant. You guys have with your train station.
Tube, huh? Yeah.
At the stops, there are places and stuff.
Okay. When we came, Indy, we went to, was it Sbarro? Sbarro is a place I think we went to.
Yeah, it isn't great, but yeah, we did go.
Yeah, no, I think we went to the only one that we knew. That was it.
Yeah.
In the malls and stuff. Like one of those quick. It's good. It does the job, I guess, if you're hungry at the moment.
But there are better places. Fair enough, buddy. So then next question by so like Indy said there, you grew up in New York, in America, right? So Paji, why you not go to Canada? To see America ki gaye si? This is asli sawal.
That was my dad's. He came
to
Why did Dad go to New York?
I don't know. Good question. I'll ask him. I'm assuming he'll probably ask Punjabis either there or California, so he picked the east side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So east side up in the Cali is a different flavor. East side utte apne yellow cab or gas station business so I think that may have been the pull. I'm guessing it. I'll ask him.
Okay, cool. So when you guys originally came to the US, you went to that side first and then you moved to New York, or have you always been in New York?
No, I was born in Punjab. So I was 6 months old when it came to New York.
6 months. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I
See.
grew up there. But then it came to the point my parents were like, if he studies over here, so they sent me to India for boarding school. So what I would do is I would go there, but come back for like 3-4 months winter vacation to New York until high school. Then I started.
Huh?
Yeah.
So you had double schooling?
Yeah, kind of.
Time मुंडा डॉक्टर बन गया man. दोनों पास ही पढ़ाई खींची ਜਾਂਦਾ.
नहीं. Vacation time was vacation. although नहीं पढ़ते सीगे. That was just chill time coming back home. Yeah.
But you know, this is really interesting because we had this recent discussion we were talking about, which was now that, so you say like I've got a daughter now. She's 9 months old. Me and my wife both obviously speak English. Thank you, Paaji. Speak English obviously very easy. Punjabi both sakde hain. But our parents' generation, when they settled and they went abroad, you know, they predominantly spoke Punjabi, which means we picked up Punjabi because they only spoke Punjabi. But now, for her to pick up Punjabi, my daughter, I have to be very intentional about speaking Punjabi to her. And I guess the same thing, you know, your parents had that foresight, which was, yes, and like, how do we keep him cultured? You got the best of being in the States, opportunity and prai, but then you also, obviously, the man, look, you're smashing it in the music industry. So that was a great thing that they clearly thought, man, like a long time ago. How do we keep him Punjabi?
Yeah, so that was important to them, obviously. If I couldn't speak it, then I wouldn't be here speaking to you guys either. Punjabi
or making the Ghana either.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's mad.
And where did you learn Bhangra, Paaji?
It started in India in the boarding school, but when I came to high school over here, when I started officially, that's when we had to like form. There were no like Desi clubs and stuff, so we had that pride, like let's start our own, you know, club in the high school, those student bodies. So we did. Then there were cultural shows that we started doing Bhangra over there, and then all the other cultures and ethnicities, they appreciated like, yo, we like this music. This is high energy. So, yeah. So we started feeling more proud as well. Like, damn, let's do this. So,
more bet ke.
You guys are familiar with that? I was listening to your Pag one. So that was pretty related. That Pag incident. Yeah.
College.
The game like that.
Yeah.
So, as we Bhangra paunde thi, like obviously we were retired from the game.
I started in university 2012. Karan started university 2013 in the same professional Bhangra team as well in the UK. And then I stopped in 2017. You stopped in 2016, Karan?
16, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, that's good.
All types of Bhangra, live Bhangra, music Bhangra, yeah.
There's nothing like live Bhangra, man. The thing with mixed Bhangra, which obviously look like in America, and I was saying to Indy yesterday when we were discussing you coming on, Paaji, I was saying you must have been around teams like
Nachdi Javani,
NJ, SGPD, JJ. Like these are all the teams from the UK we used to look at. I'm like, yo, these guys are doing crazy sets, man. Yeah. And then that's cool. Like doing mixed Bhangra is great. But once you do live Bhangra, oh my God. The simplicity of it, but the execution of it, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like live Bhangra.
No, bilkul, it's an art. So I think it's coming back now. Yeah, if there was a moment I think kind of died down, but it seemed like people are getting interested, so that's good.
I mean, your circuit and you have a huge team, man.
What was that?
Indy?
Go on.
No, I was going to say your scene in America is huge, man. The number of the circuits you have, the competitions you have. We all watch like Gabru TV. Like it's a whole. We were invited actually. We came to New York. New Jersey. 2015. We did a WBBC, World's Best Bhangra Comp.
Okay.
So all of which we competed. We beat our matchup. But I think we came fourth. But we realized like
I thought it was
Like,
third.
it's on a whole. Was it third? Maybe he came third.
Third.
Sorry.
Third.
Yeah, third.
The judges
It was on a whole different level.
Judges messed it up.
Well, there was some debate. One thing we were told afterwards, they said there's a whole thing in America about stage, not Nakra. They were talking about basically the team that won. They were also a UK team, and they had been there the year before and hadn't placed, but they felt, and on the night they made loads of mistakes. Oh, they got first place, and we were like, hey, like, how does this work? Makes no sense at all. But chalo, ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੀ ਜਾਂਦਾ, like the funniest judge I've ever seen ਇੱਥੇ in UK ਭਾਜੀ ਵਿੱਚ judge ਆਇਆ ਨਾ. And as a Bhangra team, as a person watching, you just want to know the placings. Just ਦੱਸੋ ਹਨਾ. But every Bhangra that judge wants to do a speech ਹਨਾ Bhangra ਬਾਰੇ. ਉਹ ਆਇਆ ਬਾਹਰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦਾ ਕੌਣ ਜਿੱਤਿਆ. ਅੱਜ ਭੰਗੜਾ ਹੀ ਜਿੱਤਿਆ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿੱਤੇ ਆ.
ਜ਼ੋਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਯਾਰ.
I'm like, okay, speech ਦੇ ਦੂ ਕੇ.
Come on, get to the point.
Yeah, get to the point, man. Who's first, man? ਦੱਸ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿੱਤੇ ਆ. Oh man.
That moment on stage is like, you're just waiting there. Third, second. Now it's like, ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਕੰਮ ਜਾਂ ਵਧੀਆ ਜਾਂ ਤਾਂ like, peace out.
That's it. Give me a speech afterwards, okay? Not now. Tell me what happened.
Yeah, no, our guys used to be pretty immature, man. We, hotel ਚ ਫਿਰ ਬਾਅਦ ਚ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਕੱਢ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਰੌਲਾ ਪਾਉਣ ਲੱਗ.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was good learning moments and interesting times.
Yeah, definitely that. And now that, like we're a couple of years on now, we see the people we used to compete with in Bhangra, different teams. And you're like, you moved on now in life, and like, birthday ho gaye, bacche bhi ho gaye, or you're doing different things. You're like, all that beef we used to have, it's just Bhangra, man. Like, we enjoyed it, we were good, we were competitive. Keep the Bhangra going.
It means
man.
nothing.
That's the main thing.
It was silly, immature behavior. Now we're in our 30s. We all understand. Yeah, it was such a small bubble community. It was a community within a community, and we thought it was the whole world. But it's very, very, very small.
Yeah, but the competitive brought out good routines and all that stuff. There's so many. You could do live folk, or you could do gimmicks oriented and stuff. Even that's been doing pretty well. There's always a debate, but I think they've both found their own good places.
They do. I think we used to have competitions where we had live teams performing with mixed teams, and then the live teams would just always win. And then they decided, well, you need to have separate competitions because it's totally different. And then even with gimmicks, like I think with the UK scene, we used to look at America and be like, whoa, that's like a whole different level of gimmick. Like we're going to try and do it, but maybe incorporate less gimmicky.
We don't have any gimmicks here in the UK, really. There's no gimmick teams per se.
Yeah. I mean, we had that one year where we did loads. Everyone did it, and then we would like, this is just bad.
Yeah,
and then no one did it again.
What was the gimmick?
So all right,
one of them was
the bowling ball. Tell him about the bowling ball.
So basically, there was a team that all lined up as if they were bowling pins. Somebody lined up to the front, threw a fake ball, and it made the sound, and they all fell.
Then Tom
And as he threw the ball, people didn't fall at the front; they fell at the back. Then at the front, it wasn't cohesive, so it looked really bad.
So the guy throwing the pin was a male guy. Everybody fell aside. Ek kudi bachegi, and then they started doing chumar. That was the whole gimmick.
Like sare dul gaye.
So like I get it. They played to the lyrics. Like it was good, but we were just like, nah, man. Like Bhangra, do straight minutes. It should be like 8 minutes of ending, going in, going ham. That's what Bhangra is.
If you're natural at it, like Bhangra Empire. They used to get a lot of hate, but they've been to White House. They've been doing amazing.
They've done it all.
Shout out
to
basketball matches.
Yeah. So they deserve their credit too. What they've been able to showcase. It's just like commercial music, art music. So everybody has their own place.
Yeah. That's it.
It's the same thing. Yeah. Right, Paaji. So you are a doctor. This doctor here is a real doctor, contrary to everybody asking him, is he actually a real doctor? I say, yes, fully qualified, everything.
Number one question I get asked, Paaji, you real doctor? I was like, yeah.
So doctor actually has some specific questions for you now. Go on.
All right.
Take the floor.
So Paaji, I understand that your field is you're a psychiatrist, correct?
Yes.
But in your training prior to being psychiatrist, you would have done lots of general rotations, so you've got exposure to internal medicine and other fields?
Yes.
Or has it all been... Yeah,
Yeah, the 2 years of med school, the 2-year rotation, and then you...
Perfect.
Do you do residency
exactly before
in UK too? Residency?
Yeah, we don't call it residency, but it's similar. We don't have the only thing that's different is we don't have the undergrad requirement here. So ours is you do 5 years of med school, 2 years of what we call foundation training, then another 2 years of a bit more generalized training, and then you do your specialized training after that.
The same amount. I was doing
time to 9 hunda 10-11 saal like that.
I did another podcast Punjabi. So we were going over the years, and I never like if 12 saal majjiyan hi charai. Yeah, so that's how long it takes. Yeah,
it's long. Okay, so we were talking about this very serious topic actually within men. There are certain taboo subjects, especially within Asian and Punjabi men, that they find difficult to speak about. So my cousin, he's a general practitioner, so like family doctor is what you'd say in America. He was doing a clinic, and he was trying to ask this gentleman about erectile dysfunction. Punjabi de vich, right?
Well,
how? Oh yeah, well that's the question. I'll tell you what he said. But if you had to ask that question or instigate that conversation with the patient, how would you bring it up in Punjabi?
Like ask? Like if you're experiencing that.
Punjabi de vich. Oh damn.
Time for some role play, Paaji. Okay.
All right. I rarely had apne desi patients. Yeah.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ lucky ਰਹਿ ਗਏ. You should come to Birmingham.
And I'm not on the internal medicine or family medicine side, so that's usually it does come up in terms of like medication side effects, but apne bande nahi hai.
Paaji saying apne bande nu problem nahi hundi.
Everything working, everything fine.
ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਚੱਲਦਾ.
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੈਚੁਰਲ ਰੈਮਡੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ. ਮੰਗਾਉਂਦੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਵੜੀਆ ਤੋਂ ਸਮਾਨ ਸਮੂਹ ਜੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do.
Random TikTok people in advertising. How would I ask that, man?
How would you ask?
It depends, man. What kind of person do I have in front? Is it be thoda
this doctor here? This doctor here. In fact, Karan, why don't you be the doctor and Paaji, you be the patient?
Okay.
No, but he's gonna understand what I'm asking him. Like, how can he role play?
Okay.
He'll understand, no? Like what I'm asking, because we told him I'm going to ask him.
Yeah, but he's asking you, oh, I have a problem. How do you say what the problem is?
Uncle ji, apna like ਕਿਵੇਂ ਠੀਕ ਆ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਹੈਲਥ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਵੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਪੁੱਛਣ ਦਾ ਫਰਜ਼ ਬਣਦਾ ਜੇ ਕੁਝ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਥੇ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਤੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਵੇਸੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ.
Okay, so if I was marking Paaji there, like, so in the UK we have these thing called OSCEs, which you probably have, which is exams where you watch how doctors interact. The communication there, Indy, was bang on. He's talking about confidentiality. He's talking about this. He's normalizing the question. It's not a taboo. We ask everybody this question. He's saying all those markers, right? The great thing you did, Paaji, is actually you were super direct. You use sax. So he's sax karde hain basically, you know?
Yeah.
So well, my cousin was trying to be a bit more subtle. So he was like, Uncle ji, ਸਭ ਠੀਕ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਸਮਾਨ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ and the uncle was like nothing hana and then he was like okay ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਖੜਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ and then yeah I think at the end he just said, you know, whatever, and then the jawab from the uncle, here's the best bit, he ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਪੁੱਤ ਤੇਰੀ ਆਂਟੀ ਤਾਂ ਬੜੀ ਖੁਸ਼ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ. That was the response from the uncle.
Told you they don't need that stuff, man. They got it on lock.
Yeah.
They got their remedies on lock. But yeah, then he made it uncomfortable. The guy with the physician was more uncomfortable than I guess uncle. He was ready to
because he
had bragging rights.
He was and then I think we made a reel about, oh no, that was the one I forgot. ਭਾਜੀ ਅੰਕਲ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਬਿੰਦਰਖੀਆ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਸਲੂਟ ਮਾਰਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਲੂਟ ਮਾਰਦਾ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੱਸ ਵਾਲੀ Oh my god.
It'll be fun. I think they ਹੋਵੇ ਯਾਰ ਮੇਰਾ ਕੈਪ it seems like blurry ਹੋ ਗਿਆ or is it the connection just ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ.
No, everything's fine, Paaji. All good. No problems.
All right.
The other thing I find, Paaji, and you may have the same thing, it depends on the patient population you're serving. A lot of the patients I'm around are desi, whether they be Sikh, Punjabi, Musliman, jo bhi hai gaya. But you get a lot of people who come in and they'll ask them, the opening question, why have you come in today? What's your main symptom or complaint? Jo bhi. But sab kuch dukhda. So I work in ED, ER, na?
Oh boy.
But my interest is cardiology. And I'm like, okay, so what do you do with this? And then here's what I love. If you have to translate this Punjabi to English, say goda dukhda na. It won't be goda dukhda. Goda chalda hi nahi. And I'm like, oh, so it doesn't work. What do you mean it doesn't work? It chalda hi nahi, hilda hi nahi. I'm like, okay, but tell me what it means. And then they just go on and on. That's sab ko dukhda. Ek da tusi ilaaj kar dende. You give them like their thing. And then while I'm here, na, ਆਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਠੀਕ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਤੇ ਆਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਖਾਜ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਆਹ ਰੈਸ਼ ਹੈ ਇੱਥੇ ਮੇਰੇ and I'm like
I didn't imagine ER is even tough. How do you triage? What's the priority? Like, because you got to be quick with that stuff.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. My role actually is to triage. It's to get rid of people. Like, tu ja yaar, you don't need to be here. Or like I was on duty yesterday. Banda aaya, he was a gardener, na? He does like landscaping, professional, like fit guy, 40s, walked in. He was like, oh, I'm getting a bit of fluttering in my chest. I was like, okay, tika. Then we do his observations and we look at his pulse. Pulse is on the machine showing 190. The nurse comes, 190. Nurse comes in, he goes, she's laughing. She's like, oh, can you come and look at this? She goes, I think the machine kharab hai, na? And I was like, okay. And then I look at the banda, I feel his pulse, and it's going quick. And I was like, ECG right now. And he's in full-blown SVT. This banda just walked in, and I was like, okay, this is a serious thing. We need to sort this one out.
Yeah.
But these other, time wasters that come in, time wasters the ball on there.
So you're probably just doing routine troponin, EKG, sare, no matter what's happening, because you can probably
This
tell.
is a big problem in the UK. So D-dimers and troponins on everybody. The problem then is, then you get all these results, which some of them are elevated without symptoms, without history. And then you're like, well, how do I treat this now? Now I've got raised, I have to investigate. Yeah. We have to do angiograms or we have to do CTPA.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different problem. But yeah. How's medicine generally in America?
Good, but I don't know what to compare it to with UK. How's the system over there?
As in, like, if you spoke to an arm doctor in the UK, they're all dukhi, they're all burnt out, they all want to leave. That's the state of UK doctors. But when we look at you guys, again, I don't personally know any American physicians, but we all see but they seem to work a lot, but and that's what we see. But we don't know how happy you guys are. What would you say about that as like a general?
I think it's field specific, the burnouts and stuff. Obviously, the internal med and family med, they get, I think, easily burnt out because that's their lifestyle. Even from residency, even if you walk into the hospital, you just know these are the medicine people.
Oh, okay.
Their face, the pace, everything,
running, sketches on.
The way they're eating their lunch and everything, they gotta just make it happen. And then it's psychology, obviously, is more relaxed pace. It's more thought process oriented. Obviously, we have our ER and acute situations as well, inpatient. Yeah, but it's not like
Indy, inpatient psychiatry. So I did it as part of rotation many years ago. The sharp end Indy is like very, very sharp, man.
Sharp end meaning what?
So, for example, like I got fast bleeped to the situation. It was like a 17-year-old. She had, what did she have? PD, personality disorder. Now, just give you like an overview here, Indy. Like, you've heard of conditions like depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, right? Those bande, in my experience, typically are still reasonable. But jede personality disorder hunde they are their own, like...
It's like that film, that
not Split. It's not like Split. No, it's not.
Yeah,
that.
It's Split. That's what
no, it's not. It's not that. That's what you think personality disorder is. But like PD, I think this lady had EUPD as well. That was a specific one that she had. EUPD.
What's the EU? We don't have it over here. It's a different same thing, probably different term.
Let me find it for you.
European personality disorder.
No, it's not European. EUPD mental health is. Oh yeah, okay. The other it's just an older term, but borderline personality disorder.
Oh, it's a borderline. Yeah.
The EU is emotionally unstable.
Okay.
They're like super pagal. So I got bleeped this woman, Indy, and she was trying to kill herself by stuffing jaraban down her throat. So she just putting jaraban down her throat, right? And so I walked in, and all the attendants people, they were just basically sitting on her arms and legs. And then I came in with like haloperidol and lorazepam, and we were like bang, bang, bang.
What's
and then
that?
we chatted.
What's that? It's basically a
sedatives.
Oh, goodbye, good night.
Like you're out, man. You're like,
neem the clock.
Yeah, but there's stuff you just can't comprehend, man, that people do, and you're like, yo. So yeah, the sharp end of psychiatry is.
Once you understand that, then you're in it with them, with that.
Paaji, like, what's that film, Indy? With Leonardo DiCaprio?
Which one? Shutter Island.
Shutter Island. Paaji's there playing the game with him.
Then it is not a game. You're in it with him. It's that once you understand where it's coming from, and then you're kind of you understand it results from like trauma, history, and lots of other instabilities. So that's where that comes from. But obviously, the person who experiences it is just like could be very intense. Especially when there's a crisis moment, those are very intense moments.
Very intense.
Yeah. But once you see enough, then you kind of got to just, okay, you already know when it's not to, and you're already prepared. It's the classic thing by, I hate you, but please don't leave. There's a book, something like that. I forgot. So you just have to understand that, and with enough time and therapy and
experience,
therapy, they are able to get out of it. Obviously, it needs work, not a work.
Oh, absolutely. And from your perspective, then, Paaji, as like most people, like when I started med school, I wanted to be a surgeon, and then I was like, I want to be a family doctor. Like we all changed, like we flip flop. For you, was it always like psychiatry, or did you have other things?
No, I wasn't even thinking about that.
Okay, what was your first like? What was your dream, Pella?
Just like Asian families, my parents were like, Doctor Varna. So that's how a gateway was to this thing. So I was like, no, I want to go to music school, like just from childhood, like classical and all.
Sachi.
Yeah. So parents, obviously, so ours that's the first generation. I think you got the third or fourth now.
No, first. So our parents came from India, so we're first gen.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, but overall UK though, UK, the diaspora.
It's varied, Paaji.
Is it? Okay.
The majority are first gen, and then now there's some second gen.
Oh, it's the same.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, but the circumstances they came to US, the struggles and all that stuff. So obviously they just wanted a better future for us. That's where their perspective was from. To be successful, have a stable life. So there was lots of back and forth. So he was like, nahi padna doctor tak ke nahi bane tonu yeah. So I was like, theek hai. Then it came to point, okay, like I also academically I didn't know what else to do. I was like, that's all I've been hearing, like either music or it's that. So I was like, theek hai. I was like, I'll do it. But baad mein main gana gauna wa. He was like, being hard jana, baad is gonna probably die out. So then during my rotations, so medicine that's obviously the backbone of everything. But that field overall wasn't as, because I wasn't naturally but the psychiatry part, that was thankfully, knock on wood, we all ended up working out where I was like, wow, this is cool. All this stuff. Usually the first experience is with inpatients, so that's could be sometimes like, oh damn, it could end up being a little intimidating for some students and stuff like that. So I hear about it as well, like, oh, I walked into a psych ward, but that's not the only part. And even that is, once you get the experience, it's just the first experience. Yeah, I was thankfully able to get diverse experience. So I was like, hey, badhiya lagda main to, like, I don't know, like it never gets boring. It's not like there's always something.
Doesn't stagnate.
Yeah.
It's always a puzzle, which is one of the reasons why I didn't become a dentist, for example. So UK de vich, what your parents said is exactly, it's dentist, doctor, lawyer, engineer, pharmacist. Those five are like if you're Punjabi, you can do any of those. Yeah. Otherwise, you fail as me, basically. बस तू फेल
ए साडा मुंडा नहीं
तू ना ही बदल अपना. Oh man, so that's cool, man. So you kind of stumbled across it and you're like, this is cool, and then you kind of pursued psychiatry, which It's
I
very,
didn't
very
help on the
cool.
music side because I think Indy Paaji, you do marketing, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of psychology involved in that.
There is. I have to understand customer behavior, when are they ready to purchase, how to make
It's a whole
demand.
different field.
Sales.
Everything matches.
All sales is psychology, man. That's it.
Well, this goes well into like the medicine and music kind of thing, Budgie. So how did you manage to keep medicine and music going at the same time? And how did you balance?
I think it's passion, yeah, because doing music doesn't feel like work or anything. It just satisfy the soul. But then, yeah, timing wise, honestly, there's family support. There's That's definitely very very helpful, and that's the backbone. And initially, music was starting professionally in during residency. Those time it was more manageable, as in you do one song every few months, and that was enough. But now it's just like every few weeks you're expected to just drop something. So now it's coming.
But it's because your industry is so competitive, man. सारे गाने सुट्टी जांदे हैं चार.
Yeah. So now it's
चार
getting, now
गीत
थोड़ा
सुट्टो.
सा वही आंदा, yeah. So now I'm trying to figure out ways, and it's just you're not just expected to just drop music or videos, which should be there, but now it's you just gotta be active in everything else, like
Music बनाओ, album छड्डो, tour करो, like.
yeah, not even that. All the children expected you just this whole social media or different aspects, content creation. Oh, yeah, so the whole other bag of chips. Sara kuch now that's associated. That is kind of necessity, just how that has evolved. And music is, I think, business is usually the first one that gets impacted by any evolution, technological change.
Yeah, big time.
Everything. Music is AI. That's where
That's a good point.
first, yeah, business that gets impacted is lots of fluctuations.
And so with things like that, Baji, like you mentioned, being to stay relevant, you have to put out content, like in the same way we put out content for the podcast. So do you have a team that does that for you? Like, do you have people who do all the chopping, editing, and creation?
Yeah. So वो तो hire कर लेंदे होंदे आ भी कई बार आप ही कर लेदी होती है. We're like, okay, I'll just do it. Cap cut
Nice.
वगैरह ते मड़ा या करके, but where I feel like I think I shouldn't be. It
takes a lot of time.
Yeah. So then we just outsource it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And your original kind of, let's say, lagan or shock for singing, like, did you wake up one day, you're in the shower, like, just, boliyan pa rahe thi? Like, what was how did you segue into, like...
So I was in in boarding school in India. They are the music teach. The schools have music teachers. They form a group. ਵੀ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ. They obviously ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨਵੇਂ students ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ, then they try to pick and choose who would be better suitable recruiting. So the music teacher would make us do sound, the baja, and see who may have potential. So they pick up
okay.
So I was just picked as well. So then holi baja sikhiya. So that's where it kind of kiraya officially paida ho gaya.
Oh, okay. So Kirtan was your original kind of source.
I mean, officially, like having any like direct experience, like from a learning standpoint. Even prior to that, my parents helped me. Like I was always like into music. Malkeet Singh, we gota paga de bandana sippi wala chagga. So that was already there. Like my dad got me from Punjab when I was 1 or 2 years old. So that कीड़ा है तो पहला था ही सीखा. I guess it's just अपने आप ही राह बनते गए.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So you were singing baja, but then tell me that, I mean, there's like I sing a little bit, right? Not on your level. My wife sings. Like Indy can't sing at all, but there's some people who can sing a little bit, and then there's Mestar Banna. Like what point in your head you were like, okay, I can actually do something mainstream with this talent? When did that click?
I don't think I've ever been like my star banana. It's just putting out music as a creative, from creative standpoint. Obviously, commercial, you gotta target that too. That it's just unfortunately part of validation. We come up with and you guys, yeah. So it's more about putting out music. We badia hopefully connects with, and just keep on doing. So that was the, I guess, starting point. Mentally wasn't like, man, I want to be a star. Yeah, that part hasn't has been. But unfortunately, it's just a way of reinforcing. If that's not present, then it's like, oh, is my work not connecting? So it's just kind of gets a weird cycle.
The metrics.
Yeah.
Like you said, the validation.
So it's not the reinforcing in terms of the attention of being recognized, but attention of being recognized for the work.
The quality of the work.
Yeah.
And so currently, Paaji, are you still practicing as a physician, a clinician, and you're doing the music?
Yeah.
It's not like you've taken a pause on the medical work.
Yeah. No, weekdays, yeah.
Indy, you think our life's busy, man? Wow.
I don't think our life's busy at all compared to this. That's
no, man, you guys are doing the podcast. That's not easy stuff.
Yeah, but music is much more cutthroat, Paaji. Like as is very consistent all the time. You put so much into music, you have to get it produced, edited, cut, find a producer, find a beat, make it, record it. So many more steps.
So as you guys progress, you'll feel because you're not just satisfied at one stage. You always want to do more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
But that obviously comes more time and all that stuff. So as you
how did you connect with J Statik?
J Statik, we connected through one of our friends' wedding. So I'm currently in Michigan right now. So he knew mutual friends. So over there, he heard one of my initial songs. It was called Tere Bina. And he was like, and he made a remix to it. I was like, oh yeah, you made a remix. I heard that. He's like, yeah, but so he was like, yeah, we'll work. So he ended up doing mixing and mastering for my track Sri Akal. Then we just connected, yeah.
J Statik's been everywhere, man. He did stuff for Babu. He's obviously been a big one on yours. He's very well known over here in the UK. Big time.
He's very talented, yeah. Both he's hardworking, very talented, and he's been putting in the work for a long time. Yeah.
When you did your actual music career and your music body, how did you? What made you want to actually speak about mental health in it? This is really interesting because a lot of artists don't tend to go there. So why did you feel the urge to sort of put that in your Ghana? Because everything up until then was very happy Ghana.
Yeah. It just happened to be naturally. There wasn't as much now I'm like, I should do more. And I'm preparing more. I didn't expect where it was gonna. Felt like it just came from inside. It should be something like this. And the patient population, and then you started hearing about within our community as well.
Yes.
And there was one incident where there was an acquaintance who I knew of, and that's how personally, it wasn't a personal friend or person, but it was an acquaintance I knew of. So that's what I think kind of hit me like, whoa, like I'm obviously dealing with this on a daily basis, but when it has a personal touch to it, is different. So I think that's where it got sparked from. Whoever, it's more about like being in the moment. If you're able to delay that impulsive moment, the impulse also comes down. Impulsivity. The track was lyrically, it's somebody who may be in the moment, but helping them like delay that impulsive moment, giving hope through different ways. Like this is just temporary. Yeah. So
it doesn't feel temporary in that moment, and I guess that's the point.
It doesn't.
In the moment, it doesn't, and it feels like. And this is the thing I often say to people. It's quite common phrase that people say, committing suicide, taking your own life is a cowardly way out. But I remember saying to someone, I said, listen, if you get to the point where by the action you take, whatever means you use to end your life, that you're not going to wake up, and that's it. That takes a lot of courage, man. Like. Banda, you said take your own life. They can't do it. It's not a small thing. It's probably one of the bravest things that somebody could do. And then you think about, like you said, what's the impetus? What's taken them to that point? Like how bad can things have been? And then you think. But like you said, in our community, there are lots of taboo things like this. We talked about erectile dysfunction, and there's obviously. We were at a mental health forum early this year. There's a charity called Truckee, and they talk about these things. And we were just talking about language, Maboli. And actually, you are the perfect person. Wow, I didn't even think about this when we prepared it. But Punjabi, do we have words? This is the first question. I don't know is the answer. But for things like diagnosis like depression, schizophrenia, PD, anxiety, are there Punjabi loves or not?
I don't know, man. I'll look into it. I don't think so.
right? So and then I was like, because we were on this panel, and I was like, the problem with this is, then we have people who don't have a word, they don't know how to describe it. So how do we talk about it? We don't talk about it. We say, oh, damag kharab hai, pagal hai, you know, we fob it off like this.
They're termed, but I don't think it's a diagnostic clusters, right? It's more like be adas ho gaya,
yeah,
udas ho gaya, anxiety. You could keh sakte hain bhi.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think psychosis probably just go into, like you said, it's probably crazy. Like there's no
descriptors.
Term. It would be interesting to know. Yeah, psychosis. What do you call it?
Which is interesting because then if you look back to where our language is formed from, it's not like even at the time of Guru Sahib, like people clearly would have had mental health disease. It's not like it's just now become apparent.
Yeah.
So then I'd think, well, then why wouldn't there be why wouldn't there be a word for these things? But that's definitely something to look into.
Even on the Western side, it wasn't called those terms. Begin with, they had their own evolution of terms.
They were just called crazy.
Yeah, even
which
it was used to be, it used to come in a dementia with the schizophrenia, precox. Like there's different. It has evolved on the Western side as well with the terminology.
And differentiated more.
Yeah, autism, that's becoming more understood now. That was also kind of not as
clumped.
Well understood. Yeah. So in the Western side, I think they're also becoming more
well-defined and niche.
Well-defined,
yeah. Oh, that is interesting.
The psychology, though, has always been there on I guess, both different sides. The psychiatric aspect.
That's a good point.
Paaji, who inspires you in the musical field today?
I have usually my three to four. I shall add 1 5 total.
5. We know 2 of them. Do sanu pata hai. But we don't know. So we know Jazzy Baines is definitely part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, if you like Jazzy Baines, have you seen our reel about his Gana Nag? So
sorry, man.
Right. No, koni. I'll tell you now. This will be funnier live reaction. I've got a friend, hai na? He's one of my best friends. He ganja hai. Onu roda banane ਅਸੀਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ
ਪਿਆਰ ਦਾ
ਰੋਡਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਰੋਡਾ ਹੈਗਾ
ਉਹਨੇ ਵੀ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾਲ ਰੋਡਾ ਬਣਾਤਾ
it's funny, right? Because ਅਸੀਂ ਬੈਠੇ ਸੀ, we went out to meal, ਨਾ me, him and ਦੂਜਾ ਸਿੰਘ ਤੇ we were like, I don't know, we were talking about Punjabi and he was like, what's bold? And we're like ganja and he's like roda, and we didn't know this word, so we were like, is roda like a part of India, like Punjab the koi region hai roda, like Malwai roda? And he's like, no, roda means like this. We're like, hai tanu aandi hai Punjabi? Anyway, so ever since then onu si roda kehne, everyone on the podcast all listeners, they know
Abhi Diwajega, that song roda kon.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, I didn't know that. Okay,
yeah, there you go.
Roda, yeah. Oh, because in New York they used to find the roda person whenever the line would come in family jokes.
Good Lord.
Oh shit. Oh yes, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So Ikwari, he was in the car with me, and he goes, "All right, the opening line to Nag. What's the line?"
Koi keel sapera le juga, Nag samla jalfa de.
Right. Now, if you listen to it, you know the actual lyric, right? He said to me, he goes, have you ever thought what it sounds like is Kohi peen se tera le juga, right? So he goes to Nyanazi at the time, and he goes, I was wondering, it's like, why is Jazzy Paaji talking about somebody coming up and, stealing a penis and running away? All the while we made this reel, and the reel went crazy.
People got so upset. They were like, oh my God, disrespect to Jazzy. We said, no, disrespect to Jazzy.
It wasn't disrespect to Jazzy.
It's just a mishearing.
People said they can't unhear it now, like in the same like Bali Jagpal thing. So now people come up to us, they're like, oh yeah, you know that thing. And I was like, yeah. But anyway, sorry. So Jazzy's one.
Did he hit you up, the Jazzy? Did he hit you up with that?
No, we saw Jazzy Paaji 2 weeks ago, but it didn't come up in conversation. So ठीक है.
Yeah.
I'll forward it. Yeah.
The dujja is Thoda Malkeet Singh.
Yeah, Malkeet Singh's 2. So you got 3 more.
Mithe ganne.
And for more. So what happened if Malkeet Singh childhood to sige fir, and obviously stick throughout the whole amazing work he did. Sara Bhi Forever Gold is one of my best albums. I always listen to it because it's so ahead of its time too. And so baad fir as a whole college area joge time and Bhangra scene, all that, then Jazzy B was from there, obviously. All of the West Side, because he just connected in a different way, and all the songs he made. So Jazzy B and Sukhshinder Shinda, that duo has always been.
Shinda. Okay.
Yeah. So that's two. Then and G Paaji, he's also been a big inspiration since even way before, like from the early albums. So ਭੰਗੜੇ ਚ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਨੱਚਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਸਾਰਾ, so he's always been there. And ਆਪਣੇ ਉਸਤਾਦ True School ਹੁਣੇ, they also entered the scene, so they were also like amazing, big inspiration. The other one, as I may not say it as much as because my songs may not reflect that, but I enjoy listening to him a lot. Master Salim. So his work, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Salam album, JDC, all those songs they're just amazing. Like ਦੁੱਖ ਦੇਣੀ ਹੋਰ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਦੁੱਖ ਦੇਣੇ ਆਈਆਂ ਸਾਰਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਦਿਨ ਤੇਰੇ ਬਿਨ ਹੁਣ ਨਹੀਂ. So that album is just, yeah. Marshall Sim is also, obviously I'm not singing like him, but I always enjoy his body of work. Ostanda.
Some very solid picks there, Indy.
Very solid, man. Very mixed. I like it. It's a good balance because you've got a little bit of tradition, but also new school in there, which is good. It's good, especially. Would you ever want to work with True School in the future?
Yeah, that's one of the dreams, hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure that will happen.
We may be able to...
You guys should send the message. Send it to...
We have some inroads there.
Happily.
So,
we have some inroads there, so after this call, we'll speak to you about it.
All right, yeah. Call and be like, yo,
no problem.
Let's do an album or something.
ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਭਾਜੀ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਚ ਪਾ ਦਿਓ ਹਨਾ, ਅਸੀਂ ਬਸ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਚ
yeah bro 100% ਜੇ ਇੰਗਲੈਂਡ ਆ ਕੇ ਬਣਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਤੇ ਪੱਕਾ
relax man.
no done so ਨਾਲ ਭੰਗੜਾ ਟੀਮ, bring your ਭੰਗੜਾ team as well, hopefully ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ
ਨਹੀਂ ਭੰਗੜਾ ਟੀਮ ਤਾਂ ਰਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਰਹਿ ਗਏ ਹੁਣ
ਨਹੀਂ ਗੋਟੀ ਚਲਾਉਣੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਆਪਣੇ ਹੁਣੇ ਆ ਬੇਦੀ ਪੈਂਦੀ ਆ ਦੇ.
Oh brilliant man.
Oh man, this is gonna be sick, man.
So Paaji, how do you make music that's still Punjabi but has a very modern sound? Because I noticed in the new EP you have a mix of both and it works very nicely. But how do you keep that balance there for you? Where's your kind of line, I guess you can say?
The more you do it, the more I'm trying to experiment different stuff. Also, you gotta get lost to find yourself sometimes. So sometimes I may go way too far out, but then you realize, you find yourself more like, okay, nay. But the inspiration has always been UK Bhangra. It's all been done. We're just doing it in a different context. So whatever that is, that's a huge inspiration for me. I always go back to every decade of that to draw inspiration. So yeah, I think UK Bhangra here, they've done so much amazing work in every aspect. So, and all of these genres been done also. Most of these, it's just sonically be thodi mixing mastering the fark pay janda, thodi nuances change ho jande, but what's not been done?
Because there's a few new producers now, like Bobby Kang, who's obviously doing some really great work with Raf Safera. So they're the new gen coming through, and they're bringing like this hip hop trap, but also some of it is actually really classic Punjabi folk. And there's like, I find that transition so interesting. Like, how can you go this far down a modern pathway, but also bring it straight back to folk?
Yeah.
That's so interesting to me. It shows your actual talent as a producer.
Because Ovid one UK there, so they're doing amazing work. Yeah, bilkul, and it's just being there in the scene. How keda si Sanj da next episode they see jeda siga ho.
Oh yeah.
So it's exact. Look at it. Be aaj je sodo is like all the stuff, tracks from back in the day. You play it the way they were mixed.
Still bang, man. They still bang.
It's more better than aajkal jo karde hunde, because it's digital, analog, all that stuff jo ho gaya.
Of course.
So that was a bumper. We used to bump to that a lot.
No, that was definitely a banger, man. Paaji, as a artist, do you feel that you have a responsibility to make, let's say, quality music which has meaningful lyrics, or is it like it needs to be like a bumper song that people need to dance to at weddings? Like, how do you, obviously, I mean, albums will have a bit of both, but where does your mind go to? Like, what is the point of your music? It's an expression of you, I guess, ultimately, but Why? What's its functional purpose in your life? Would you say?
Primarily, it's whatever I enjoy. So if I want to try something new, yeah, let's do this. So I have to get excited about it before anything. It has to be entertaining. Bala serious bhi ho ke bhi, yeah, you could sometimes be. It doesn't have to be like, oh, karna. So I feel strongly about Punjabi music representing it. It's at the core. I enjoy it so much. So I just
One good thing I have noticed is I'd say this. We'll ask you the question about where you think the Punjabi industry music scene is, but me looking in, right, when I see you guys, you, Shub, Diljit, everybody who's like killing it at the moment, everybody else who mentioned.
Pro starting job, same thing.
But it's in like when we as youngsters, right, or people definitely younger than us, it's making, and obviously Sidhu as well, Musiala, it's making Punjabi cool again. Because I feel like there's definitely I have a lot of friends who don't speak Punjabi now and have no interest in learning Punjabi. And then the scene came on like research, let's say, and now people are like, I want to, even if they're singing lyrics to songs, then that becomes a catalyst to, I want to learn Punjabi. Punjabi has become very cool again.
Really? I didn't know that. I don't think we had that over on the state side. It may have been uncool or something.
It dipped. Oh,
really?
Massively dipped here. Like there was just this idea that you kind of know maybe one line of the song, or enough, you understand Punjabi, but you can't speak Punjabi, and it just became very like we were having this conversation about how Punjabi may just die out, like you just might not need it. But now I feel there's a resurgence. Now it's cool. Like it's cool again. It's always been cool in my eyes. It's always cool, but I think it's become very cool again. And there's the young people are now like Punjabi bolni hai, Punjabi gaane bhi gaane hai. Like there's a whole, it's strong.
Yeah.
And because you got the social media side is so strong now. When those guys did it back in the day, man, like I don't know how commercially viable it was then, but I imagine if those artists existed now, they would, like even like Malkeet Singh. Like imagine Malkeet Singh in today's time. Like he's a whole different level then,
Yeah, all that stuff that they've done is like crazy. It's just even
but in a time in the industry where they were paying peanuts,
Yeah, they did amazing stuff. Whatever ਹੁਣ ਚੱਲੀ ਜਾਂਦਾ, I saw UK Bhangra drive to be ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪੰਜਾਬ side the music that's barely being done now. That
really why
sound ਸੀਗੀ like Punjab's music side, but it's all UK Bhangra influence, whatever is going on now, but you guys just don't get the respect, unfortunately, nowadays.
So you feel as though it's dying out more in Punjab, like the actual music production side of it?
No, I mean the sound that used to come from Punjab, that sound is just non-existent. The sound of Punjab, there used to be clear distinction. Obviously, internet, now we are like one globalization. There used to be this music came from the west side, this came from the east side. Both were amazing in their own ways. But whatever was coming out from Punjab has been heavily influenced by the West interpretation of Punjabi music. Bhangre wale gaane bhi, ਢੋਲ wale bhi hai. It's all what UK did. Be drums, all that Western element paake. It sounds good.
Entertaining, like you said. Entertainment is commercially viable.
That's the norm now. What the baseline is for folk music.
It felt like in the UK in about the 2010 era onwards. So the music that was made in the 90s really carried us into the 2000s for a while. And we kept on listening to that. Then it got a bit quiet. Then in 2010, it started to just creep back up with like JK, Diljit, back to basics. My wife's going to really be upset because I haven't mentioned all the other albums in between. She's a massive Bhangra head. But then it started to come back a little bit, and now it's just taken off further and further. And it's nice, and it's actually really good to see, and I hope it genuinely continues forever because there's more collaboration with mainstream Ghana now, which is brilliant, and we need more of that.
Yeah, respect to JK, style the true school, UK born, better in my body, Desi style, and back basic album again. So those are masterpieces,
bangers.
Yeah.
Are you signed to a label at all, or is everything done self-promotion?
Yeah, independent. Yeah.
How do you handle that? How do you manage to get music made, done, finished on your own?
What do you mean? How?
So as in, a label would normally do in mainstream music terms. I don't know how it is in the Punjabi industry, but if you've got a label backing you, they'll do the promo. They will give you the studio time because you signed a contract to promise them X amount of albums, and then they take a cut off it. That's what I understand it to be. But when it's on your own, what's the circumstances like for that to work out?
Yeah, I think that a majority of people are kind of doing independent work or just have deals with particular labels rather than being signed, unless there are now with the Western labels coming into play. So they are bringing those deals that they had with Western acts, which are still active. So from that standpoint, I guess it would make sense to commit to something, but otherwise it doesn't make sense to commit for a couple amount of time with based on how just the world has become digitally. The studios, you could rent it out, you could set it up at your home, you could work out with different producers, and you have to do it and you can learn the nuances to we make your mistakes, you learn about it if you're in it for the long run.
So it sounds like what you're saying, Paaji, is you actually enjoy the autonomy of and control of having, calling the shots basically yourself and not having to be dictated
own heavy lifting. Yeah. Bench mari.
And like you just said that, but you said something about for those who are in it for the long term. So I guess this is another question for you. And I'll give you the converse, the analogy for Indy and I. Like endgame for us, I know endgame definitely for Indy is he'd leave his 9-to-5 com and he'd be a podcaster full time. Me, I'd probably have a small element of medicine still there and I'd do the podcasting as well. For you, buddy, the endgame is only music or it's always going to be medicine and music?
I think it will be both. I don't know in what ways though. Like I think I'm gonna keep it active. Whether medicine is directly patient care or different, I don't know. I'm reaching that point now where timing wise is just both of them are maxed out. For either one or two to go further, I gotta now
choose
decision. Yeah. So that's the hard part.
It's difficult. I mean, I would hope that you are able to do that full time, music wise. I mean, is that the ambition for you in the future? Just to continue doing Bhangra music forever?
Yeah, definitely gonna take some time off and see how it goes. Be not giving up on the medical side, but like I said, I do intend to keep it active in different ways. So I want to give it because whatever I'm doing, I know I'm not giving all the hours I have in music. I'm giving lots of hours. If I need to be treating it as a hobby, it's very much a full-time thing as well. It requires lots of hours, attention, keeping up with all the stuff like on day-to-day basis, week-to-week basis. It is very involved. Yeah. So I'll see. Yeah. And I mean, we're fortunate to have this problem. I mean,
it's true. Champagne problem.
Opportunity, I mean, to have this kind of problem. We thankfully are in the position that where this is a problem we're struggling.
Good problem to have, I would say.
Yeah.
When did you know you kind of blown up in the music space, Paaji? Which song did it?
Blown up तो हजे भी नहीं आज मैं कहूँगा अपने आप को
Indy
नहीं निम्रता नहीं I'm really mean it निम्रता not even from humbleness or like I really mean it but the one that obviously clicked overall in all different domains was Candlelight सीगा started with Mundri, Candlelight and Credit Card. That's where it started picking up.
Candlelight is special, man. I told you in that voice note. So, guys, we had his voice note with Paaji before the call. And any wedding, if there was a dance-off and the DJ asks, Candlelight is perfect. And the reason why Candlelight is perfect, and I actually didn't know when I said this to you that you're a Bhangra dancer at that point, is that you can do everything to it. There's Jumar parts in there. There's fast Bhangra, slow Bhangra. It's perfect. You can destroy any person in that song with Candlelight. So, guys, this is what you need to choose, okay? Next dance-off is Candlelight request.
Candlelight, And that was produced also by a Bhangra dancer, Urban King. So he was also active with the Bhangra. So that's why the producer, he understands that too.
Okay, there we go. Inside
that explains a lot.
A lot of artists from US, they came from the Bhangra scene, like in different spaces, producers and rappers. Amar Sandhu, he used to sing for one of the teams. Sunny Malton. He used to perform.
Sunny Malton?
I think, yeah.
Sunny Malton.
Oh, okay.
They ਹੋਰ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਆ like there's so many men.
No pressure. It's okay.
I'm like trying to see. I'm just going to think my bad. Yeah, but what I was saying was there are lots of creative people who came out of Bhangra space because I guess they're creatively inclined to be tying Bhangra.
That's a really good point.
Okay, Paaji, who would be your ultimate collaboration, dead or alive? Sorry, dead and alive.
Dead and alive. And two answers required here.
The names I brought up ਪਹਿਲਾਂ with any of those ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਉਹੀ ਨੇ ਡ੍ਰੇਕ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਉਹ ਇੰਨਾ ਮੈਟਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਉਹ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਮੈਟਰ ਕਰਦੇ the names I brought up before
Drake
yeah so ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹਿਪ ਹੌਪ ਚਲੋ ਇਹ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਤਾਂ ਵਧੀਆ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਪਰ that's not like oh ਹੋ ਗਿਆ that's ਠੀਕ ਆ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਾਲੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਹੇ ਆ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ the inspirations those are the ultimate collabs for me.
In terms of people that aren't here anymore, is there anybody who you would really have loved to have done any come with?
We can only learn from them, man. That's the better egotistic. We only talk about yeah.
That's how you respond to the question.
Their skill level. You can't be like we.
Manik Saab ਨਾਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਜੀ
yeah
ਕਾਕਾ ਭੈਣੀ ਵਾਲਾ
yeah
in terms of the EP then, how come you chose to do an EP and not an album, Paaji? I mean, we don't understand the difference as normal people, so could you help us understand that?
EP is just a shorter body of work as compared to an album. An album, obviously there's more needed. Sometimes you may not have, you don't want to do because something may be in the pipeline. I don't know. It depends where you're at. So EP does provide a body of work as in you're able to, especially for me, I think I'm more getting inclined towards body of work than singles because I was able to deliver different sounds, but
so many different sounds
myself at the same time. It gets hard. I couldn't release those songs as singles. It could gets very confusing. So that's where I was
could you have not called that an album then?
What was it? The album, you gotta have at least 8 to 9 tracks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your wife was right, Indy.
Yeah, she was.
It's the number of tracks. When I guess she's like, it's the number of tracks. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know? Bhabhi ji knows.
No. she knows way more than I do, Paaji. Way more.
You're right, Bhabhi ji. Thank you.
Do you have a favorite song on the album itself?
Probably changes from day to day. But from our standpoint, once it's released, you've already heard it so many times and all that stuff. Now it's just about and all that. It becomes the other side takes over rather than unfortunately just enjoying it. I don't usually do that. Like once it's out, yeah. I hear it before it releases. Like from a work standpoint, as enjoying it. Obviously, but now like once it's out, oh man, what I like. Yeah, people do it. It's personality based. Whatever suits you, if you like to bump it, it's fine. But I just feel awkward. Even let's say I'm somewhere. Gana mera lag juga, let's say. Yeah, I just feel awkward. I just get weird. Like when I'm supposed to be like, yeah.
Feel like it's me.
The camera cut le, then you gotta put on the act like, yeah, Candlelight. All that. Then you gotta do it. Chalo the post kar deni hai jo ve friends. Yeah, I'm just like, kuch aur la lo, koi nahi. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, but that's just me. Maybe I should work on it. Just own it, as in like, it just, I don't know.
But that's a good point you do make about the again the stuff we put out. There's people come up to us and will quote certain bits of content, and but because we've seen the content so many times, it's not funny to us anymore. But we cannot imagine somebody watching the content the first time in the same way, like we listen to your music, you've heard it thousands of times. Like Ver is definitely my favorite track on the album. Yeah. Like it's such a like chill vibe. Like just on repeat, man. Like I listen all day.
Thank you, man. Yeah, J Statik did amazing production.
Lalkare for me, man. That's
all right, big Jata man. Yeah, you're like,
listen, it has to be folk, man. It has to be folk and funky. That is me.
Yeah, Lalkara bhi. Shout out to J Statik again and Jindy who wrote it. And ਆਪਾਂ ਡਾਕਟਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ shout out ਦਿੱਤੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ. Yeah.
My wife heard that. She goes, "Oh yeah, doctor." To be fair, I thought about this, Indy. Today you could have had just Paaji, Indy and doctor. मेरी लोड नहीं सी आज.
No, today is Indy and doctor.
It's not Indy, doctor, huh? Doctor.
Indy and 2 doctors.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh man.
Recently, Paaji, you put out a clip of you doing a cover of Sarjeet Bindrakia. Would you ever do a full cover album of, say, legends in the past? Because that's something that I think is missing in the space. I know that in the film, which film was it?
Chamkila?
Yeah. He did bits of Chamkila songs which were fantastic. And someone's cut that up and made it into a Spotify playlist. Thank you to whoever that is. But I feel like there's a big demand for it, but I don't know if artists want to touch that or not, just out of respect.
Yeah, they did amazing work with the movie Chamkila. Shout out to Sari team, Daljit Paaji movie. Amazing work. They covers like I said, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਆਪਣੇ singers ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ skill set ਇੰਨਾ high ਸੀਗਾ, so we can't match that. Nor are we trying to be that. Yeah, it's just our way of. The reason I did that in the soch ke nahi kita, but I'm not thinking back. I was like, why it was. Because I'm noticing now there's a huge disconnect with Punjabi music with the, let's say, high schoolers of today. As in, Punjabi folk music la lo jame. Of just not be ek gana pata ba yaar bolda and that's about it. What we think is basic common knowledge is not anymore. But that was not the case for us. Okay, we didn't grow up in the eras of Manik Shinda, but we
know all the songs.
Yeah. And then I was like, why was that disconnect? It was cover songs. Be UK to be if Jazzy be the Jamal Fatah that took us to Kaldeep Manik, Manmoor Wars did, Amar Singh Shauki, the UK bands did so many different covers. So that always used to take us back to Achaye Ethu Banaya was. So then we connected with that and we understood the progression. But now obviously that's not there. Could also be internet. I think legally also it's you can't do it. Back then I had you could kind of get away with it. So many covers you'll see. So I was like, it's not me trying to be like be my old dog on It's just my way of connecting whoever I could to the kind of music I really, really love. So I think I may the music from
definitely it's amazing.
Like gateway. I had to start with something very just I don't know pata yet, but obviously just hopefully able to do more here and there. As an album, I don't know. I think it gets tricky, copyrights and all that stuff. If there's an opportunity, I would love to. Yeah.
Okay, because to me, from what you've just said, it sounds like there is a need for it to sort of do it again and give those Ghana justice again and push it forward. Like the one that I love is the Manik tribute that all the artists did. That 12-minute medley to me was unbelievable because you got to see every Punjabi singer take one Manik song and try and do it justice, and I thought it was beautiful.
It was man, amazing. I'm in here, amazing work. Shout out to Aman here.
Great producer.
And then last question for us, Paaji. How expensive actually is it to create an EP from start to finish? You don't have to say numbers, but is it a lot more than what you would expect when making normal content?
It depends, man. Now, if you're starting out in the beginning, you have a friend who's starting out, obviously, then the cost may not be as high because you're kind of both at the same point. But once you get into it, then you got to obviously enhance your product more. But also, you can't treat it just as it's starting out. You got to pay people where it's due and respect as a it's not like behind a unity या सारे भी सेवा कर दे
सेवा हुंदी है तू सेवा करेगा
सेवा भी एक आधी बारी हुंदी है so you just got to respect it and hopefully be appreciate करना चाहिए जिथे भी जेडे ਮਿਹਨਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਸੋ
ਇੰਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਸੁਣ ਲਈ ਪੋਡਕਾਸਟ 3 ਸਾਲ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਲਈ ਪੈਸੇ ਦਿਆ ਕਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ
People need to stop using that word seva too much, man. It gets abused. Okay.
ਸੇਵਾ ਜੇ ਸੇਵਾ ਚਲੋ ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਟਾਈਮ ਵੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਹੀ ਲਈ ਜਾਣੀ ਆ ਵੀ ਸੋ just gotta respect it ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੋ yeah I mean ਵੱਧ ਹੀ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ ਦਾ ਖਰਚ ਜਿੰਨਾ you could put in as much man there's no end to this it's just ਆਹ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਉਹ ਕਰ ਲਓ you just gotta know clear minded ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕੁ ਕਰਨਾ ਵੀ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਵੀ and how it goes post analysis all that stuff.
Yeah, because I can imagine there is a bit of pressure to make it sit well and get pushed out. Is there a way that you can gamify that on Spotify to try and get it pushed to more people? Or do you just have to use your own outlets and people and obviously interview globally and try and get people to listen to it?
There's no one way. It's everybody, if you look at it, everybody's doing different things. So, which is a positive, you just got to be you. You could try to use some strategies and marketing, but at the end of the day, if the content isn't clicking, all that is just fluff work. ਕਈ ਗਾਣਾ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਲਿੱਕ ਹੋਇਆ ਪਰ ਆਪਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਲਾਈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਵੀ ਐਕਸਟਰਾ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਲਾਤਾ ਪਰ no so you learn ਐਂਡ ਜੇ ਕੰਟੈਂਟ ਜੇ ਕਲਿੱਕ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਠੀਕ ਆ ਫਿਰ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਲਾ ਲਓ ਪਰ ਜੇ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਚੜਾ ਦੋ okay may become like a viral meme or something but it's like I don't want like a meme song or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to go big for the wrong reasons. Like,
nobody knows the song, but they just know that.
It's very hard to shed that personality because there's a couple people that have gone viral, non-Punjabi singers, a few Indian singers where they're trying to sing in.
That was more than just a viral. So everybody knew that. Even knew we were singing it over there too.
But he was a meme, and he was here in East London, where I live, and he got found and was deported because he was here illegally. But that's another story. But in general, it is very hard to shed that persona once it's on you. You can't get rid of it.
Yeah, and I don't think he was trying to be
viral.
It was a good thing that happened to him. But as an artist, you got to be clear because obviously it's a popular thing. Now, if that's going to chart number one. Now you're not gonna feel a particular way if yours is not. If the charts are saying "Be tu ek gaane to thalle ya utte," it's just like, well, it's a popularity contest. It's not be just says anything. Be tu badiya ya nahi badiya hoya. So you got to be mindful about as it not let something define you or be a number wali game different. Now we kidding you have to play it, but you got to be clear about it. This is how you get the numbers and. Do you want to go that route? And if you want to go that route, just be as clear as possible you can be.
Be very careful, yeah. And any plans to come to the UK, Paaji?
Yeah. Hopefully, what is it? Maybe this year or hopefully.
Maybe. Mitro, part 2 of the podcast to be done live in the studio, and Paaji is gonna drop some live bars. मैं lighter लेके आऊँगा.
Where are you guys based?
Birmingham, London, wherever needed. I'm in London. He's in Birmingham. My family are in Birmingham. Haji?
ਤੁਸੀਂ Birmingham ਦੇ ਕਿ London ਦੇ?
ਮੈਂ Birmingham ਦਾ, ਇਹ London ਦਾ.
Oh, ਅੱਛਾ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਦੋਨੇ.
Well, complicated ਹੈ. He is from Birmingham.
ਫਿਰ
ਵਿਆਹ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਉਹਦੀ ਡੋਲੀ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਤੇ ਮੂੰਹ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਉੱਥੇ ਫਿਰ ਘਰ ਜਵਾਈ ਹਾਂ ਇਹਦੀ ਡੋਲੀ
ਸੱਚੀ I had a male ਡੋਲੀ
ਘਰ ਜਵਾਈ ਨਾ ਫਿਰ
ਚਲੋ ਹੋਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਮੂਵ ਸੋ ਲੰਡਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਹੁਣ so you stick for London or Birmingham ਹੁਣ because you guys I think go at it with each other London ਵਾਲੇ ਆ Birmingham ਵਾਲੇ ਆ
I think
no it's very simple ਭਾਜੀ ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਨਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਾ
ਫਿਰ
ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ Birmingham ਦਾ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵਾਈਫ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਨਾ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਲੰਡਨ ਦਾ ਮੁੰਡਾ
okay
let it be known now
okay I'll tell you now okay Birmingham is always my home but I couldn't move back to Birmingham anymore because now I've lived in London I can't go back I like having my own space in London away from the rest of my family I love my family very dearly but being away from them I feel like it's better for me and my development as a
my mental development
yes my mental development
ਭਾਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਵੋਟਾਂ 'ਚ ਖੜਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਦੋਨੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਕਵਰ ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦੇ
ਇੰਡੀ ਬਣ ਜਾ ਯਾਰ ਐਮਪੀ ਬਣ ਜਾ ਤੂੰ
ਹਾਂ ਬਣੋ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ
ਹਾਂ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਲਾਉਂਗੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਨੇ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ Oh shit, man.
That's it, perfect. Karan, you got anything else to add?
No, this has been an experience, so I just want to take this chance to. So मेरा full नाम भाई जस Karan.
अच्छा जैज अच्छा ठीक है ओके
ਉਹਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਜੈਜ਼ ਬਈ that is my medical name. Dr. Jazz ਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਕੰਮ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਭੰਗੜੇ ਵਾਲੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਰਨ ਬੁਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ.
Were your clinic say Dr. Jazz?
Yeah, Dr. Jazz.
Really?
Yeah.
Jazz likha? That's a catchy name, man.
That completely by accident. Or you know, like in med school, everyone started calling me Jazz. Okay, obviously not the Jazz here, it's Jazz, huh? But Jazz no Jazz karta because they seem to like it. But yeah, Karan is what these guys call me. So you can call me whatever you want.
A man of many names, a doctor of many names.
Oh, we haven't released Paaji's name yet, Indy.
Yeah,
Paaji thought
G stand for Paaji?
Gur
Simran
Simmer. Gur Simran.
That's my brother's name.
Okay. Right. Our market research is wrong, Indy. Now we need to play an actual guessing, and this is a great way to end the podcast. Right. Starts with G. It doesn't end with Inder, correct?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. Gurkirat.
What are you saying, Gurinder?
Gurkirat.
Yeah.
What is it?
Gurkirat.
No.
Gurnam.
You got the syllables right with that. No.
Gur is correct. It's Gur something.
So Gur is correct.
Right. Gurpreet.
Gurjeet.
Gurjeet.
Gurdial.
Gurpreet.
That's my grandfather's name.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay. Your name, is it like a mainstream name or is it like one in like...
One in Ala, yeah.
Oh, we could be
special
all day,
now.
Paaji.
No. Gur. Okay, the next letter after Gurki.
K.
Okay, Gurkiran. No, Gurkaran, Gurkiran, Gurkirat.
Gurkirat.
No, he said that.
Gurkamal?
Kamal, yeah.
Oh!
Gurkamal.
Gurkamal.
Yes!
Kaval. Yeah.
Oh,
Kaval. Yeah, that's good, yeah.
Oh, Gurkaval.
Kaval, yeah. Kaval.
Beautiful name. I only know one other person. His name is Kaval, but just Kaval.
Yeah, Kaval.
Wait, Paaji, your brother, is he a medic as well?
Yeah.
We found him yesterday on the internet.
Oh, no, what do you mean?
That's why we said
I looked at it and I thought he looks so much like G Sidhu, but just a little bit different. I don't think it's him.
Where?
What's that post you found about the internship? Was it about the internship or the fellowship? You found a post
like
about
a fellowship, and he's based in the University of Michigan for 2 years, child psychology or something like that.
Wait, kete?
It was on the internet. My wife did a lot of digging and found it.
Deep digging.
No, it may not be him though. Because he's not.
Okay.
Okay, I'll send you the link, Paaji. I'll send you the link.
No, my brother is my videos and stuff to usually photo him. He's in a where the video. He's the one doing pull-ups.
Indy.
Yeah.
That's a question about the pull-ups, man.
Oh yeah, Paaji. Okay, in the background of your video, there's one doing pull-ups on the bars. Okay, have you done pull-ups on those bars?
Yeah, New York tak karde rehne hunde si. So that's why we
all the time.
New York thing. That's my brother.
Every day.
That's my brother. No, every day nahi karta. Yeah.
Muscle mudaya. Here you go. No, this is you. We got no. We did find you.
Okay.
Yeah, oh, the man. Oh, no.
No, but I looked at it and thought that's not him.
Yeah, that's
it just
different, man. This is post pre-kalagari. This is me worn out from med school.
Okay.
ये खा पी के तो बढ़िया फुल्ले हुए सीगे.
Happy time चल रहा है.
जो पढ़ते ही होंगे हैं फिर.
Dress
up. ये पीजे खा के फिर यही काम चलता है फिर order out.
बस.
Yeah.
There you go, Indy. Good Kaval.
Perfect. Now we know.
There you go.
Paaji, where can people find you online? The EP Wildcard is out. Please go check it out.
Please. सुनो जाके on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere. Instagram, G Sidhu online. Facebook, G Sidhu online. YouTube, G Sidhu. और की केड़ा रह गया? और G Sidhu online ही कर दे हर पासे.
ਓਨਲੀ ਫੈਨਸ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਭਾਜੀ।
ਮੈਂ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਪੈਸੇ ਪੂਸੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਉੱਥੇ।
ਉਹੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗਾਣੇ ਗਾ ਲਓ।
ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਪਤਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ ਲਾਈਵ ਦੇਖ ਲਓ। ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੁਛ ਕਿਹਾ, ਆਪਣਾ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਲਿਆਂਦੀ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ।
ਸੁਣੋ, ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਰਚ ਕੀਤਾ ਨਾ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਓਨਲੀ ਫੈਨਸ, ਉੱਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਹੋਗੀ ਬਸ, ਉੱਤੇ ਆਦੀ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਕਲਿੱਕ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਕੋਈ ਪੀਨਸ ਤੇਰਾ ਲੈ ਜੂਗਾ।
ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਦੱਸਿਓ ਰੈਵਨਿਊ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਬਣਦਾ ਫਿਰ।
ਚਲੋ people, thank you, we'll see you next week।
ਹੈਗਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਰ ਓਨਲੀ ਫੈਨ ਚ ਮੈਂ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦਾ, ਪਰ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ
ਸਾਡੀ ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਲਾਇਸੈਂਸ ਨਹੀਂ।
ਕਈ ਲੈਟਰ ਲੈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਬੜੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ, ਸੋ ਕਲੈਰੀਫਾਈ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਓਨਲੀ ਫੈਨ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ ਹਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ। ਪਰ ਜੇ ਰੈਵਨਿਊ ਵਧੀਆ ਬਣਦਾ ਹੋਇਆ, ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪੈਰ ਪੂਰ ਦਿਖਾ ਗਏ, ਵਧੀਆ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ।
Everyone has a price, okay? Everyone has a price।
ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਡਾਕਟਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੱਥ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨਾ, ਹੱਥ ਦਿਖਾਉਂਦੇ।
Hand model।
Yeah.
Oh my God।
Perfect। Paaji, thank you for joining us।
Thank you, brother।
People,
thank you so much।
we'll see you next week। Goodbye।
ਸੁਣੋ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਾਣੇ ਭਾਜੀ ਹੁਣਾਂ ਦਾ ਪੋਡਕਾਸਟ। ਭਾਜੀ ਥੋੜੇ ਪੀਸ ਆਊਟ ਹੋ ਗਏ, ਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ 2 ਜਣੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਏ ਹਜੇ, ਪਰ they doing amazing work। ਇੰਗਲੈਂਡ ਤੋਂ ਵਧੀਆ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। ਉਹੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਾਨਫਲਿਕਟਸ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਰਹਿ ਕੇ ਵੀ, the cultural differences and so very good topics you guys bring up। so ਸਾਰੇ ਜਣੇ ਸੁਣਿਆ
Thank you, Paaji।
ਸੁਣਦਾ ਮੈਂ।
Thank you, Paaji, that means a lot। People, goodbye।